Hello everyone, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. All right, so I have a story here which you may have already heard about. It's been out for about a week now, but I figured, listen, I want to talk about this. This is an interesting story. I have some things that I want to say about this incident. So it looks like there was a man from Miami who was arrested for climbing up a T-Mobile cell tower. Police are saying that this man climbing up to this tower, messing around with it, has caused T-Mobile up to at least $500,000 in damage. They're saying that the man who climbed up a cell tower in Miami, Florida, spent several hours atop the structure, has been arrested by police, who estimate he caused up to $500,000 worth of damage. Police have named the man as a 38-year-old Richard Smith, who claimed to be a T-Mobile worker, which is really interesting. Smith shut down the main power at the bottom of the tower and shut down a T-Mobile carrier, which alerted the telco to the site as it noted an outage in the area. Smith reportedly climbed the tower without any harness or climbing equipment in the early hours of the morning. So he just went up there, gun-ho, no equipment, just did his thing before spending several hours at the site, they're saying. Despite pleas from emergency services to come down, he wouldn't listen, was just still up there. So according to CBS News, which is where they got this information from, Miami police said that a T-Mobile employee went to the tower at Northwest 13th Avenue and Northwest 29th Street around 5 a.m. on April 3rd after noticing the power at the site was off. The worker then switched the power back on before he noticed a man in the tower, claiming to be a T-Mobile worker. After confronting the man, the T-Mobile employee told police that he realized the man was lying. The trespasser then asked the worker to join him at the top of the tower to enjoy the view and spoke to him about God. Smith eventually came down at around 11 a.m., where he was arrested. Local media reports said that he was calm and shook hands with the first responders at the site. He was arrested on charges of burglary and criminal mischief, and according to a police report, caused between $100,000 to $500,000 worth of damage after his actions led to cellular outages for customers. Police said that Smith likely had experience of working on cell towers or climbing due to the way he was moving around the structure. Emergency services blocked off the roads around that time near the tower, leading to disruption in the area for much of the morning. So a lot of traffic, a lot of negative things coming out of this for everyone. So there was a statement here by T-Mobile. They said, after our systems alerted us that there was a service issue at the site, which we and other providers leased from a vendor, our field technician responded, determined that there was an unauthorized entry, and called local authorities. So T-Mobile thanks, the Miami Police Department, of course, and Miami Fire Rescue for their response, and will continue to support their investigation. Looks like everyone was safe, and an overlapping coverage in the area will continue to ensure customers remain connected. So it looks like Richard Smith, the defender here, or the perpetrator, should I say, seems to be okay. Looks like no one else got hurt. Services are continuing. So again, this article is more than a week old now, but it's an interesting article. One, likely I do believe that this worker, or the pretend worker, was probably a former worker in some way to sell towers, like the article suggests. I think definitely he must have some kind of connection there. Maybe he installed towers himself for one of these carriers. I'm not sure, because it looks like he got up there with no problem. He didn't even have proper equipment, and he knew exactly what to do. Why he did this is beyond me. So assuming if he was a former telco worker, he could have done this out of spite. He could have been upset about something. Maybe he had a bad day at work. Maybe he's no longer working for telco and is upset about that. Maybe he doesn't like T-Mobile. Maybe he used to work for T-Mobile and that's why this happened. There could be a lot of reasons of why he did this. Could be that he just doesn't like 5G. There's a lot of people that are against 5G ever since the discussions of it first came about many years ago now already, 3-4 years ago. And there are people that will go to great lengths to try and stop it. They believe 5G is poison. And we read about this all the time, and it's creating a negative, experience for everyone else that is just trying to get better cell phone service. And this is why, 5G was pretty much off to a really slow start to begin with, because of certain things like this. And, especially with certain companies building around airports, there was so much panic about how 5G would take down planes and all the other issues that they claimed that 5G would cause, even though the cell sites were miles and miles away. There's a lot of panic. And when things like that happen, it just disrupts the process. So that could be another reason why this man did it. Something going on for sure, because then he got up there, and then he spoke about God. So he's obviously having a bad day, something not going right in his life. And for some reason, he thought going up there and turning down service would make things better. So that leads me to believe that most likely he was possibly a telco worker, maybe lost his job and just kind of went south for a little bit. He did come down, shook everyone's hand. So obviously he's a person of respect, has no negative resentment towards the police or fire workers, so first responders. So not sure what's going on there. Maybe things got worked out when they took him back to the station. Maybe he was able to come back to his senses. Obviously, I think they said he would pay at least a fine of $1,000. But interesting stuff here. I'm not really sure if, like I said, if this is something to do with him just having something against 5G, because if so, unfortunately, there's going to be incidents like this that continue. There are people that believe 5G is the devil. And, if they believe that, there's always going to be some kind of protest against it. And those will be the same people that will complain that they have horrible service, but yet they won't let carriers do their job and build new towers. So it's kind of like, they feel two ways about it. They got to pick a side because they can't have it both ways. Unfortunately, yes, these towers are big, large, and sometimes not attractive if they're, viewable from your backyard. But at the same time, it is what it is. Unfortunately, if you live in an area where you're zoned to have a tower, not much you can do about it. You don't own the city, you don't own the state, and you just kind of have to deal with it, I guess. But either way, interesting stuff. Definitely wanted to talk about it. I found it very interesting. I tried to see if there was an update, didn't find one. If any of you know what happened after this, I'll continue looking and maybe I'll do an update. But if any of you know what happened after the event, if there was a reason for why this man did what he did, was he a former telco worker, or was he just someone that had something against 5G, or was it just nothing to do with either? He just kind of felt like, I don't know, he just felt like going up there and having an interesting day and doing something different in his life. I don't know. Who knows, right? One could never tell you what, motivated this guy to do it other than himself, right? Only he knows what his intentions were, why he did it, what the real motive was. But anyway, link for the article down below. It is coming from a different site called datacenterdynamics.com. It'll be linked in the description for you if you want to check it out. This was a good size story. I found a few other ones, but this one had some decent amount of information, including the suspect's name. So that's why I chose this one as well. As always, thank you guys for stopping by and watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.